Today, we are going to talk about being powerful, being intentional, being powerful with money. So I'm really excited today to share this with you. I think it'll be really laser focused into why you want to start embodying the money dates and playing with it and experiencing it to allow your relationship with money to operate differently than we've all probably experienced in our past, and with just how we grew up and the way in which a lot of people operate with money in today's way, shape, and form. This is a saying that I hear a lot, and it's really where attention goes, energy flows. And what's so interesting about where attention goes, energy flows, the same is actually true with money. And many of the women that I've surveyed on average are feeling about 6 out of 10 confidence level with money. Some of you, you're on kind of that 3 or 4 end of that range. Some of you are feeling really good at 8 or 9. None of you really said that you were at a 1 or a 10, so that doesn't surprise me at all. But ideally, my intention is to get everyone to feel fabulous with money, to be at that 8 out of 10 or better range, and really taking on a role and responsibility with money that they've never felt or experienced before. With that intention in mind, I am just going to kind of set the stage for what that could potentially even begin to look like for you. Because if you've never experienced it, like I've experienced it, or seen how that could progress, it might be a little bit daunting to consider, okay, where I'm at today is a 3, 4, 5, 6 on that scale of 1 out of 10 confidence with money. And I want it to improve. I want it to get better. And I just don't know what else I could be doing to allow that feeling to come in, to allow that experience to come in. And even for some of you who are at a 7 or 8 out of 10 or even 9 out of 10, how do we get you to more often experiencing 10 out of 10 experiences with money? So hopefully some of this will really reign true for where you get to go next in that experience, and help set the framework for where you can take your money dates, but also the reasons why it can really help you bring practical framework, but a fun way to interact with money. For those of you that tend to fall into this space often of not feeling like there's enough money, not ever feeling like you're good enough, that there's enough money coming in, and really connecting to enoughness with some way, shape, or form, either in your life, with your money, with yourself, with others around you. Some of us that aren't feeling enough within ourselves also feel very judgmental of the world around us, like no one is giving us enough opportunities or enough of their time, whatever that might look like. So I want to encourage you to begin to ask yourself what you are focusing your attention on. So going back to that original quote of where attention goes, energy flows, when we are focusing our attention on what's not working, not having enough, not being enough, not feeling good enough, whether that's feeling smart enough, good enough, just enoughness conversation, that is where we're focused. And that's where our attention is going. And so that's just going to be a repeat pattern that continues to pop up in our life experience. So instead, could we refocus our attention on feeling more content, feeling more satisfied, feeling like maybe there is enough, maybe even sitting with that question, right? It might be a stretch to kind of go to where I constantly go, which is there's always more than enough. Everything's abundant all the time. It's great. It's juicy. It's amazing, right? Like that's a much farther stretch for a lot of you. So can we just simply sit with, are you feeling content in this moment right now? Can you feel content? And seeing and playing with that possibility. The first question I want you to jot down is, are you feeling satisfied with money? And the real question is, why or why not? If your answer is yes, in this moment, right? Maybe not all moments all the time, but in this moment, how are you feeling in terms of satisfied with money? And then another kind of satisfaction, fulfillment types of questions you can be asking yourself is, are you feeling fulfilled with your career, with your purpose, with your choice of work, whatever you're showing up for on a regular basis to have money flow through your world? Are you feeling fulfilled in that space? And why or why not? because some of you are really creating and being intentional about massive impact and value that you're creating in the world around you. And some of you, a lot of you, are even in this space of working a full-time job and having a passion project and creating a business on the side so that you can have more and more massive impact and add more and more value to the world around you, which is incredible. I've been there, I've done that. I get that that is a very stretchy situation to be in. I don't want to call it stressful or unmanageable, because it is something you can manage for a short term, right? A period of time. It's not sustainable long term, but it is doable. It is figure outable. And some of us are choosing to play small and feel overburdened with just the worry of not being enough, having enough, or experiencing enough in life. So I want to address that feeling of not good enough, because ultimately that worthiness that you are pulling through and experiencing or not experiencing is where your attention is going and where energy is ultimately flowing. And so it's simply that repeat cycle. And when we shift into showing up in our gifts, showing up in this endeavor to be powerful, to be courageous in sharing of those gifts and creating that massive impact around us, now our attention is shifting into this energy where it can potentially be more easy and effortless. You can make a difference in the immediate world around you. And I want you to consider that in going there and creating that space for yourself over and over again consistently, even if it's for an hour a day, 2 hours a day, a short period of time, but it's consistent on a regular basis, that is where you start to see momentum cause and create different opportunities around you. So if you're not showing up consistently in your power, in your gifts, and what you are here to serve in that gift, that's where you get to go next, is with the consistency part of it. And I want to address another thing that comes up a lot when I share these tools and kind of thought processes and philosophies is I often get met with, well, you know, Raechelle, you're really good at this. I'm not really good at showing up powerfully in my life, or I don't really know how to make a difference in the world around me, or, you know, I'm really unclear on my gifts, or I'm not really sure how to execute or implement those gifts in a powerful way, in a courageous way that allows me to attract more money into my world. So what you can start asking, it's really one simple question. I wrote down a few, but there's one simple question you can be asking yourself over and over and over again. And choose a word that resonates with you. Powerful resonates with me, that's why I chose it, but choose a word that really resonates with you as something you feel is, not always happening, but you can feel it at certain times and not feel it at other times, and something that you do want to create consistency in. For me, it is power. It's being powerful within my being. I'm not talking about power and control in terms of controlling everything around me. I'm talking about showing up as my most authentic self in being a magnet to the world around me to have and create exciting experiences with the women that I serve each and every day. What would the powerful version of myself do? And who does she get to show up and be in certain moments throughout my day where I might not be feeling it? I might not be feeling like showing up to the conversation or that next meeting or the next task that is on my to-do list. What would my most powerful version of myself do? So that is the question to sit with. And so for maybe some of you, it's what would my most confident version of myself show up and be? What would the most graceful version of myself do or be? So whatever that key word could be for you, use one really juicy word where it's like, ooh, that feels good every time. Like you just kind of, ooh, yeah, you feel it every single time. And for me, again, that word is powerful. How can I be powerful in showing up today? How can I be powerful in my interactions with money today? So that's narrowing it down on an even deeper level. Powerful version of myself just showing up. Powerful in how I get to interact with the world around me and being intentional, but then also creating this powerfulness with money and the relationship that you have with money, and knowing and choosing that you have that ability to be decisive and make good money choices and be in a really good feeling relationship with your money. And once you turn that attention around to what you are wanting it to look like, and you surrender to what is not happening yet, that's when there is a shift. So I want to give you some specific examples. So for many of you, your attention is constantly focused on what bills aren't paid yet, the credit card not being paid off, not having the dream car yet, not having the dream home yet, not having the dream bank account or investment account that you want, not having the dream job. And I want you to add the word yet onto every one of those statements. Yet, you don't have it yet, right? So that's just one kind of step in the right direction in recognizing that, yeah, you just don't have it yet, and that's okay. Can you be content right here, right now? Be satisfied with where you're at, the progress that you already have made, because a lot of you have made a ton of progress already. Can you be content with that moment that you're sitting in right now? And recognize that that is your ability to surrender to what isn't completed yet, and knowing that that's okay, and trusting that it will get taken care of, but then focusing your attention on what it gets to look like, how you get to show up and be powerful, courageous, confident, whatever that word is, each and every single day. Because if you are just constantly in this pattern of repeat on the bills aren't paid, the credit card's not paid, blah, 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 that's where your attention is going. You're constantly thinking about that. So how could you be thinking about the possibilities that are available to you? How could you be open to receiving new opportunities that are just passing you by because that's not where your energy is focused? That's what's happening. It is really that simple. It boggles my mind how simple it is, because even for myself, the minute I changed my attention and my focus and my energy started going and creating momentum in what was possible for myself, whether that's in business, in my love life, in my relationships, in my friendships, in my family, all of those things are areas of my life that I want to dream and be in possibility. And now that I've created that momentum for myself, it is truly easy and effortless to flow through and surrender to whatever obstacles may come up. But that's the difference in where my attention and my focus is going at this point. Being able to focus your attention on being powerful with money and bringing your gifts to share with others consistently is where the transformation happens, not just for you, but for literally everyone else around you. When you start to transform that for yourself, everyone else around you transforms. And so that's the power in it. That is the creation that you have available to you if you so choose to be guided and directed to use it and be responsible with choosing it consistently all the time.